Oh no, it's exploring! It's exploring!
Welcome to No Fabs. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel to a brand new episode. BMW 335D F Series are renowned for being absolute monsters of performance on the road. But one thing that does really get on a lot of people's nerves is the lack of sound and the way that they look. The 335 doesn't look any different to the 320D, which is annoying because the old ones used to look different. So in today's episode, we're going to be making some changes to the exhaust sound and the performance and the looks. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing this dual exit conversion diffuser. What that will allow us to do is to put twin tips either side of the bumper, giving us a different look to the 320D, giving the 335 the look it should have always had from the factory, just like the old ones. This car has already got a downpipe installed, so there will be some sound increase. What I mean by a downpipe is it's got a DPF delete pipe. So if you are watching this and you do own one of these and yours still has the factory DPF in, the same will not apply to you exactly. The sound doesn't change all that much if you've got a DPF filter still in place. As I say, this one doesn't, so there will be some significant change in sound, which we're going to bring you along for the journey. Let's give you a quick before sound and then we'll get cracking. So you will notice that there is some small puffs of smoke. That is a byproduct of the DPF filter no longer being in place. I would say that this is probably louder now with the backbox on as what they are straight pipe with the DPF still in place. So just bear that in mind if you're watching this and you are an owner of one of these. But if you do want to upgrade the looks, you can still upgrade the looks, and that's exactly what this is for. Give you a better look over the standard one. Let's get it in the air, let's get cracking. Here's what they look like as standard then. This is the factory 335D backbox. There isn't a great deal inside them. Here it sounds quite hollow. There isn't a great deal inside them. The only other thing in the exhaust system is this secondary cat. We've cut a few of these out before and it is a secondary catalytic converter. I do recommend when you're doing this job is to leave that in because it gets rid of some of the whistle. If you take that out and do a complete straight pipe, you do get quite a lot of whistle. Downpipe, unfortunately, is buried up there behind all them trays. I'm not about to take all them trays off just to show you the downpipe. You'll have to use your imagination. But that's all there is to a 335 exhaust. As I said, sadly the thing what lets it down is, and I think it annoys a lot of other people, is that it doesn't look any different to a 320D. They just look almost exactly the same, except the badge. So let's change it. Let's get the exhaust cut. We will make a cut around here somewhere. We'll put a cut there, we will install a V-band, that gives us something to work from. Backbox will be off, chucked in the bin, and then we'll install our newer dual exit diffuser. If you would like to order one of these diffusers, you need to go to www.carbonfactory.co.uk. At the checkout, use discount code NAWFABS. That will get you a small discount off the part. They always fit amazing. We've tried and tested numerous ones of these from numerous companies. Carbon Factory ones are the best, hands down. They clip straight in, they fit great. They're the one I recommend. If you want to get one, go to their website, use our discount code, get yourself an awesome fitting diffuser. The diffuser on these is actually really easy to get off. 4 screws hold the entire thing on, one there, 2 other side. In fact, no, there's 3 more in the middle as well. 7 screws. And then simply just grab it at the side, pull it, and it just pops off into your hands, as easy as that. If they fit right, it's actually an easy install to put the same one back in if they fit correct. If you get one that doesn't, we've had them before, we've had to use heat gun, put a curve in them and all sorts. Carbon Factory ones, you don't have that problem. And there we are, that's clipped in. We'll get it wiped down, put his reflectors back in, and that's as easy as a dual exit diffuser goes. Once it's screwed in, it's good. That one took a little bit of force to get in there. Looked like something had been stacked on top of it in its box, but it's in there. That's installed. Couple of screws in, bottoms either side now, and then the ones in the middle as well. Get all them back in, give that a wipe down, get reflectors back in. Job done, diffuser. Did not take long at all. The first job then, we're going to put a V-band on this mid-pipe. As you can see, 2.75 inches too small, 3 inch is a little bit baggy. So we're going to whip the mid-pipe off, get that on our swage machine. Just going to make that a bit of a tighter fit on there. That gives us a nice point to work from, because that's where we'll be connecting to. Then we're going to make a split. You've seen me make splits before, but if you're new here, we're going to give you a rundown on that as well. They are fairly simple, to be honest. Once you've done the split, they're fairly simple. So we'll whip that off first, we'll get that V-band on there, and then we'll start making a split. So making a split is easy if you're doing a same size diameter inlet as the same size outlet. So for instance, if we wanted a 2.5 inch diameter inlet to a twin 2.5 inch outlet, that's easy. We just get a 2.5 inch bend and we'll just cut it straight down the middle, and then do the same on this side. And that would, when you're linked together, that would give you a perfect 2.5 inch inlet to a twin 2.5 inch outlet. But this is not a 2.5 inch inlet. This is a 3 inch inlet to a twin 2.5 inch outlet. So let me show you how we achieve that. So here's what we're going to be using to make the split. 2.5 inch 1.5D or 1.5 diameter bends. What does 1.5D mean? 1.5D means it's 1.5 times the diameter radius. So that's a 3.75 radius bend. Now you can get 1D bends, which would be essentially a 2.5 inch radius bend. Hopefully that makes sense. In fact, I'll get one, I'll show you. So for example, this is a 1D bend, that is a 1.5D bend. Hopefully you can see the difference. One is a tighter radius than the other one. We use these on some applications when space is tight, like coming out of the turbo flange when it's tight to get out of. Other than that, we try not to use them. 1.5D bends do flow much better, so we would do try and use them as much as we can. Let's show you then how we're going to get to a 3 inch inlet on a 2.5 inch bend. This is a piece of 3 inch just out of my scrap bin. You can see there, I've just drawn a fate line down it. That's going to be a center line. What we're going to do is we're going to hold that upwards. So you can see this happening. I'm trying to get in a good position to show you. And we're going to line these edges up. And then you can see there where my 3 inch center line. Just get into position and I'll mark it. So the center line wants to be straight up. The edge wants to be aligned here on where my left hand is. This edge wants to be aligned, so smooth. And then all we're going to do is just transfer the center mark onto our 2.5 inch bend, which is there. So you can see that the center line of the 3 inch is obviously wider than the 2.5 inch. So when we cut this off, what we're going to do is we're going to clamp it in as bandsaw, and we're going to cut that. And this is not straight line, obviously I've just freehanded it, but we're going to cut that. This portion here is going to be cut away. And then when we do that on both of them, we're going to be left with what's not a round hole anymore. When we put both bends together, we will be left with an oval hole, like that. And then what we'll do is we'll get the oval hole on our swage machine, expand it up to a 3 inch round hole. Sounds simple, and it is. It might just be complicated if you're not understanding what I mean. But if you're not, let me try and show you in actions rather than words. So let's cut that one off now, and then we'll do the same on the other bend. This is our hydraulic bladed bandsaw. What I mean by hydraulic is you can control the speed of descent using this little knob here. So you can either have it so it comes fully down fast, or you can have it come down really, really slowly. And that's what we want. We want it to come down at a really, really slow pace. I'm going to pull this blade back like that. I'm going to lower it down a little bit. And then all we're going to do is we're going to line the blade up with the front part of that line. This part, take no notice, because I just drew it on freehand. It's most likely not straight. We only want to line it up with the initial first part we drew on. Which is there. I'll take you out of here and show you quickly before we do a cut. You can see what the socket's for then. Look, the socket just allows me to hold the bend in the jaw of the saw. You can put them upright, but I find you get a little bit of blade wander if you do that. It's difficult to stop them from moving. This way, the saw is pushing down on the bend cannot move because it's sat on the base of the jaw. I think this way is much better for cutting a Y-split. You get more accurate results. And you can see there, look, the blade is in line with my line, apart from this bit here where it tailed off. Again, I drew that freehand. We're only interested in this first part. So we're going to cut that now, and then we're going to repeat the same process on the other bend, and I'll show you the end result. And there we have both bits off the bandsaw now. So if we offer them up together, you can see that the hole we've got is not round. Now that's a good thing for us. So once we've welded that together, once we've expanded that hole, it will become from an oval hole to a one big 3-inch hole, or that's the plan. We'll see how it works. Let's get this off at welding bench now. We'll get this welded up, and we will be purging it as well. And then once that's done, we'll give it a whirl on the expander. See what happens. So Connor's just tacked it together. Now we're going to set it up for a purge. And once we've purged it through, we'll get to welding it. What does purging do? So because stainless steel is reactive to oxygen, if we don't purge it, you will get a horrible weak weld and a sugaring effect. I think I probably need to cover it. In a future video, maybe I ought to do a back-to-back and show you the difference between purged versus not purged. On this video, I'll show you the end result of what we get with a purge. The end result should be we get a really nice weld down the outside with a really nice weld on the inside. As I said in one of my previous videos, I could really do with investing in some better purge equipment rather than using masking tape and stuff. There is a lot of good stuff available on market. Maybe I'll invest in some at some point. For now though, old trusty masking tape does me. So what the pipe does, the pipe is directly linked to the argon bottle. It fills this piece, the workpiece, up with argon, which is an inert gas. Essentially pushes all the oxygen out, gives us a completely inert atmosphere inside that piece. So with no oxygen in there, we'll get a nice weld on the inside as well as on the outside. So that's purging at around 4 litres a minute. We'll just give that a couple of minutes to purge through and we'll get to welding. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied that's fully purged through now. Let's get to welding. Now on the last video I did where I covered this, didn't get a perfect penetration all the way through. Let's see if we can do a little bit better on this one. See if we can get better penetration. So we're not going to start all the way to the end because it'll just melt the masking tape. So we're going to start around where that tack is and then we'll work from there onwards and then we'll just cut that excess off afterwards. Let's get a heat sink so I don't burn my hand. Alright, let's go for it. So I've just got welders set on around 75 amps, but I am using a foot pedal. So I am just controlling the heat with the foot pedal. I'm using 1mm filler rod. And we're doing around 17 to 20 dabs and then we're going to stop and pause. So we'll just pause it there. Let that gas coverage do its job. As soon as it stops, we'll get moving again. There we go. Bring it up slowly till we're matching and we're off again. That was 20, stop, pause. And we're off again. So as workpiece warms up, you kind of have to back off the power a little bit because it welds a little bit smoother once it gets a little bit hotter. So you have to try and like keep the heat balanced, if that makes sense to you. If you just go full pedal, what you'll do is you'll start off nice and it'll just get wild and out of control. It's more noticeable welding aluminium than it is on stainless, but it's the same principle. So as the workpiece warms up, you have to sort of like back it off a little bit. And that's a little warm, so I'm just going to just tap the pedal. That just gives us an extra bit of gas coverage. And that's welding lovely. I'll let you guys have a little look at that. Look, that's welding absolutely lovely. Probably pan this into a time lapse now. I'll quickly flick through this, get it finished, and then I'll show you the inside. See if we got a perfect purge. See there, we melted the masking tape on a little bit, which is why I need to get some better stuff. So it doesn't do that, but it doesn't take long to clean it up. A little bit of acetone will clean any glue residue off. Right, I can already see inside I didn't do perfect yet again. We'll have a look. Try and show you guys inside. Let me get a light. So you can see in there, look, see how the weld looks nice, but at the very top, look, it's actually mega difficult to get 100% purge there. Right at the top, didn't get 100% penetration. Did on the bottom sides, not perfect around the top, but it'll do. It will do just fine, that. That'll be nice and strong, there's no need to worry there. The weld throughout the top section there is strong, even though the purge is not, sorry, the penetration is not perfect. But that'll do. Right, we're going to give that a minute to cool down, and then we're going to whip it over to the expander. We're going to trim that little bit of excess off, we'll whip it over to the expander, and we'll get that oval hole to a 3-inch round hole. So this is the problem we need to sort next. Oval hole, round hole. We need to get those two to match. Should be fairly straightforward. You can see there, look, by the time we've rounded that off, we should be pretty much right. How we're going to do it? Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to use this. Just use that little one a little bit just to open that hole up a bit. And we're going to swap to the next one up. And this is where the magic happens. We don't want to go too much, so we are being a bit careful. See, not perfect, still pretty oval, but we don't want to go too much. So we are just being a little bit careful with how much we go. A little bit gentle. Now at that, we are coming up to being very close. Tiny bit more. And that, boys and girls, is how you do it. That's how you get from a 3-inch inlet to a twin 2-inch outlet almost seamlessly. By the time I've cleaned that up and we've got it welded, that'll be almost seamless. You can see there, look, the fit up is absolutely cock on. Right, next up then, we're gonna get some, let me just pan you guys up so you can see what I'm talking to. Next up, we're gonna get the tips on the 90-degree bends. We're gonna get them propped up to the bumper on some bits of cardboard, and then we'll measure the link tubes, bits what will need to come off of this to the bends. And then once we've got all that sat in position, what we do is we make this bit last. We sort of call it fill in the blanks. You'll see what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, keep watching, you'll see what I mean. So the first part of the puzzle, you've just watched us make the split. The second bit is just a 90-degree bend with the end swage on the same swage I just showed you a second ago. That will then slip over there onto the tailpipe. We just need to get the tailpipe straight, and then what we'll do is we'll offer this side up to the car like that, and then it's just simply a measurement to the other tip. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to get this straight now. So roughly, yeah, roughly around there. Yep. So that tailpipe straight on there now. We'll offer this up, get stand, propping it up to the bumper, and then I'll hold the tip on the other side and we'll get a measurement. We just basically need to measure from there to the other 90-degree bend. And then, like I said before, it's from there a game of fill in the blanks. Blankety blank. We'll use a bit of good old trusty cardboard above that tip to hold it while I hold tailpipe on the other side.
Wax and white hook and wax.
Yeah. Come back a little bit. Right, is that holding it enough?
Kinda.
It's twisted a bit, hasn't it?
It's pointing down more.
Not too bothered about that for a minute. We just need an accurate measurement, so it just needs to be pointing straight as a bare minimum.
Yeah,
Which is decent, yeah. So yeah, although the tailpipe at minute would melt snow off your drive, it's pointing at floor. We're not interested in that. It just needs to be pointing straight while we just get a measurement. By a measurement, we're going to put the second bend into the tip, hold that one up there, and hopefully the idea's coming to life now. You can see what we need to measure. So Conor's going to measure that. I'm going to try and hold that straight. Right, is that tip pointing straight? Let's have a look.
Should be about now.
It's not a million mile away. Right, you give us a measurement on that. $11.5 inch, call it.
Yeah.
So 12.5, 13.5 inch. We're going to go 2 inch longer because we're going to swage it over the other end. Just makes for easy indexing. Hey, we'll get that cut.
Be warm, careful.
So there's the bit what we just cut. All nicely welded on. Now we're going to get this propped up and it'll be much easier to get things in position with them both connected. Once we've got everything set as we want it, the cardboard kind of holds the tailpipes where we want it. Then we're going to have to play a game of blankety blank for this bit, which is looking tight. I'll tell you now, it's looking tight. Look, we'll get it. That wants to twist down a little bit like that. A little bit too much. Yeah, we'll get that easily. Right, we just need to get everything set up now. We want it. We need to make sure tips are in and out the same length and pointing straight. We've had an accident.
You're whining, you baby.
Just looking through off-cut box, sliced my finger end off. Yeah, accident. Yeah, accident, but we ain't got any plasters, but we've got some masking tape. We've got a bit of masking tape just to halt blooding. Keep blood inside me for a bit until it heals up, eh? Sorted. So despite me cutting my finger end off in off-cut box, we have actually found 2 bits what do job perfect. One's a 30, one's a 15. Everything on that is all tacked together now. What we mean by tacked, I just assume everybody knows what I mean. Tacking is when we just put a tiny little dab of weld and it just holds things together until you do the final weld. So like that, look. That's what we're referring to when I say a tack. Tack is just literally tack a little bit of weld together, holds it in position. So you can see here, all this is just tacked together. Look, none of it's actually finally welded like that one is. Look, that's got a final bead of weld around it. These are just tacked together. So now everything's all tacked in position. We're happy with it. All looks straight, everything's square and looking as it should. The last thing we've got to do now is put some hangers on there. Hangers are what come from the exhaust rubbers, curled down and round underneath the pipe, welded on. That essentially holds the weight of the exhaust. Once that's done, we'll whip it off, run some final welds around it. Right, that's all finished. I'm sure you'll agree, looks sick. Now we have got this noisy old Polo ticking over in the background. You might recognise it from a previous video of very early YouTube days for us. We did an R32 catback on it. In fact, no, just backbox, but anyway, it's a noisy old thing, so I don't even know if you can hear me over the top of that. But let's fire this beamer up and let's see what it sounds like, shall we? I might back it into the doorway so it's out of the way of that other one. Right, I'm just going to back it up a little bit. I think I'm just going to back it towards the door. Yeah, I'm just going to move it back a little bit so you can actually hear this over the top of that Polo. Carl's doing some tracking work on it, so don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but let's get a little rev at that, shall we? She's a smoky girl, isn't she? But there you go. In case you're wondering what a 335D will sound like with a downpipe, with backbox delete, there you go. Now you know. This secondary cat is still in place at that, so it does limit that whistle a little bit. As you can tell, it is still there, but if you get rid of that, it just becomes really, really bad. So I recommend leaving that in, personally. But we're not going to whip this one down road. We're actually doing the exact same car tomorrow, which is the dad of this customer's car. Apparently that one's a little bit tweaked up. Maybe I'll sort of take that one for a spin down road tomorrow and kind of mash it into this video. So if I do, it's not this car we're driving, it's his dad's car, but it's the same one. I just know that one's had a bit more tweaking, a bit more fettling. And poof, just like magic, it's white. So this is his dad's car. Grey one's just been collected, white one's just been dropped off. Now, like I said, we haven't drove the grey one because it's late on it day today, I haven't got time. But tomorrow we are going to be doing exhaust on this one, which is identical setup. The setup on this one is exactly the same. It's got the same downpipe on it. It's still got the secondary cat in it. We're fitting the same diffuser and we're almost putting the exact same tips on. So I'm not going to film the process because you've obviously just watched the entire video of us doing the exhaust on the grey one. But this one apparently is all mapped up nice. It's got hybrid turbos on it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what else. Apparently it goes like the clappers. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive this one for the finale of this video. So let's get in it and let's go. Let's go and see what it's all about. As you can see, the BMW is now exactly the same as its twin, the grey one. Exactly the same, except the tips are slightly different. They're a rolled lip tip. We put a shiny lip tip on the other one. But I'm a little bit gutted. This is supposed to be 440 horsepower, this car. I really, really wanted to take it for a rip. Sadly though, it has got a cracked wheel on the back, 3 cracks in one wheel, and also it's got a bulging sidewall. I am still going to take it, but we're not going to go ballistic. Just because I want to show you guys what it actually sounds like on the road and what drone's like and all that stuff. Sadly, we're not going to be able to go hell for leather in it. Not that we do anyway. We always try and keep things legal. But yeah, as you can imagine, it's pretty dangerous with back wheel like that. I don't know how long it's been like that. So we are going to go a little bit steady in it. But let's go and take it for a spin. See what it sounds like, at least. Carl's going to have a whistle shortly, isn't he? So today we've played a little prank on Carl. I don't know how it's going to go. And I haven't actually filmed what I've done. Let me explain to you what I've done. So, other day, if you're on my Instagram, you'll have seen it on my story. I was driving somewhere and I seen a car with a turbo, you know, one of them little turbo whistles what you can buy off internet for like £6. I seen a car driving one of them and I were absolutely gobsmacked. It was like an A1 an A1 1.6 diesel it were one, and so I was laughing my head off at that. And anyway, somebody messaged me saying, oh, somebody put one up my exhaust as a prank. He said he was driving it for 6 months before I realised what it were. So I thought, that's brilliant. What do? Straight on eBay, £6, get one. And while Carl's been busy doing something today, I've put it up his transit exhaust. So we'll see how it pans out. We don't know if it's gonna, I don't even know if it's gonna fall out or if he's gonna notice. I don't know. We'll find out shortly. We'll try and get his response, eh?
Shifting this.
Running out of road. Running out of road. Yeah, it's definitely no slouch.
It felt like it were getting faster and faster.
We're doing, yeah. I just don't want to go ballistic in it. Knowing that we've got a sidewall bulged to death and 3 cracks in wheel, it's not exactly great, is it? But anyway, 8-speed gearbox, 8th gear, 70 mile an hour, and there's absolutely no drone at all. So it's not too empowering. If you were going to do this modification, you wanted to go on a long run, it's not too bad at all. It's got some wind noise coming from somewhere. I think it's wind deflector.
Yeah, it's trapped.
You got it on your side?
Yeah,
wind deflector is causing
yeah.
a draft. In terms of now, we're just cruising at 70, 75-ish. Exhaust is almost silent. You can't even tell it's got exhaust done at all. So yeah, it's not too bad unless you're on go pedal. If I put my foot down, then it kind of does come alive a little bit. Again, it's not too much. It's not too noisy. It's not noisy at all, actually. Not compared to like a petrol equivalent, anyway. Still fairly quiet. In fact, the draft front window
is louder.
The draft front wind deflector is actually louder than exhaust. That's annoying. That'd drive me up wall. Yeah. I'm surprised it hadn't nicked, to be fair. Nick's very particular. I'm very surprised that I hadn't driven them up wall. They'd be straight out and straight in bin.
Seeping through the gap.
They're coming out on Escort, actually. Escort one's got wind deflectors on. They're coming out and going in bin now because they're tacky as hell.
Weight reduction.
Yeah. Might have had a little bit of a breakthrough on Escort today. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to jinx it, but might have had a little bit of a breakthrough on it today. Hopefully I can get an update out soon on that. I know it's killing me as well. I know I keep getting messages saying when's Escort updates coming, and believe me guys, it's killing me as well. Not only am I so busy with other work, that's not the point. If I had something I could actually do on it, I would book it in as a job and do it. But at the moment, I am completely at the mercy of somebody else. I can't do anything until this little wiring stuff's sorted. So, dead in the water for the moment. I am relying on someone else. If I could do it myself, well, I probably could have done it myself. It's one of them things that it's not my speciality. A little bit like some of you guys could probably do your own exhaust, but yeah, it'd come out a hash, wouldn't it? It's exactly what it'd be like if I do wiring on that Escort. So I don't want to bodge something. I want it done professionally and I want it done right. I want to be able to get in that car and it be reliable, not dodgy wiring. So yeah, anyway, as soon as I can, we'll get an Escort update out there for you. Till then, you'll have to just keep enjoying these exhaust videos, won't you? In the UK, what is this weather? It's just rained constantly for like 3 days, and first time we've seen sunshine today, but looking at sky, it will be short-lived. It's very dark.
Does that not feel a bit weird to you on back end?
It does feel weird, yeah.
Can you feel that?
What, wobbling?
Yeah.
Yeah, feels like
it's coming from back left.
Yeah. Well, that's the one that's smashed a bit, so hopefully it's not falling off. Hopefully it's not flat. That'd be a disaster. We better pull in and check, haven't we, that it's not flat. Carl just put some air in it, I think. Surely not.
Didn't feel like that when we first got on bypass though.
I'll be devastated if tyres flat off. That'll be a disaster. In fact, they come with a pump, these, I think. Do they come with a pump? Yeah, I think they do. So now that wind noise has stopped. Whistle's back. Whoa. It's alright, some just nearly writ us off. I don't think he knows where he's going. Still don't know where he's going. It's got bags of torque, this, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Hinge it at seat, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fast, that.
it is a quick car. Shame we can't give it a proper run. I did message Nick this morning and I was like, I'm gutted, Nick, I want to take that for a run. And he said, well, we'll get it back in when I've sorted wheels out, but couldn't resist, could I? Thought I'll go for a little blip in it. Anyway, boys and girls, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I see that as last few videos are getting a little bit more engagement, a couple more views, more comments, more likes. It's good to see. It's glad to see that you're all enjoying it. I mean, the only change I've really made is I'm just showing you more details of what we do. I thought it was boring. I thought it'd make for a boring video, but clearly not. It seems like a lot of you are enjoying it. So if you're enjoying it, fair enough. I'll keep it as it is. I mean, I don't know how long we can keep doing the same thing for, because although the car's changed, the actual work, the tools, the welding is all relatively the same. But don't know. We'll ride it out. We'll see how it happens. We'll see what's what. We'll play it out. Play it by ear. While ever you're still enjoying it, we'll keep them coming. Every Sunday, every Monday, 6 PM. We've got no shortage of jobs, so there's essentially no shortage of videos. We'll see you in the next video, boys and girls.
Peace out.